This is how I go from this into this using only drugstore products. Hi everybody, so today is a makeup look full of my drugstore favorites. From foundation to setting spray, everything is from the drugstore. So let's get into it. So we start off with the NYX Marshmallow Primer. This is just an hydrating primer. It smells really nice. It's really sweet smelling. So just like a base for foundation. I feel like since my skin is really dry, I feel like this has been gorgeous underneath my foundation. So this is the first step of this makeup look. Right after that, this foundation has quickly become my favorite foundation from the drugstore, like no questions asked. The e.l.f. Soft Glam Foundation. I use shade Light Warm. This has such a beautiful creamy coverage and lasts so long. Like I have no problems with this one. It lasts all day, pretty much no touch up, just sometimes when I get a little bit oily on my forehead, I apply a little bit more powder. But other than that, this is like self-manageable. It manages itself without any problem. Highly recommend this one if you're looking for a foundation from the drugstore. Next up is the Essence Silky Blur Concealer. And this one, other than the fact that I need to use 2 shades, is great. Look at my under eye. It looks highlighted, it looks brightened, it looks smooth, it doesn't look dry, and it's very covered. I use shades 100 and 120, I think. Once you remove the plastic cover, you can no longer know the shades, and I just mix them both, and this is my perfect shade of concealer, probably tied with Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer as my favorite concealer from the drugstore. But this one has a little bit more coverage than the Age Rewind. Next up is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Setting Powder. This one, I feel like no matter what else launches in the drugstore, this will still be my favorite. This and the Huda Beauty powders are my holy grails for setting the under eye. This shade is a little bit lighter than my Huda Beauty, which I actually like right now. It gives me a very highlighted look. This powder is heaven sent. As smoothing as the Huda Beauty, as perfecting as the Huda Beauty, without being drying for a fraction of the price. As my all-over setting powder, I've grown accustomed to using the Health Aloe Glow powder. This is more like a finishing powder. I do use it as a setting powder because I do like the glow it gives me. So if you're oily, maybe skip this one. But if you're more on the dry side, I highly recommend this one. Like it sets your makeup without adding coverage, without adding cakiness, just setting it and adding a little bit of glow, which is what I like. I use this shade. Next up, I start off with the Soft Touch bronzer from Essence. This is Whipped Buttercup. This is the closest thing that I've tried to the Fenty Beauty Putty Bronzer. This is not putty, but once you apply it to your skin, it is kind of a creamy formula though, as you can see when I touch it. It just doesn't go down. It's super smoothing, it's super perfecting. This is $5. The shade selection is not the greatest, but if you can find a shade within their range, I highly recommend this one. And after that, I can't seem to find it, but I use the Milani one, like the Milani Baked Bronzer, just to add more glow on top of it. For blush, I went in with the Milani blush in Berry Amore. This is the old formulation. I haven't been able to try the new one yet, but I don't feel like it's going to be that different, so this shade is gorgeous. It's a neutral kind of a pinkish brownish shade, and it's very glowy without emphasizing anything on my skin, so that's what I like. Another oldie but a goodie, this is the Pure Nude Highlighter by Essence. This is one of those barely there highlighters that give you like a glow from within, and is one of my favorite highlighters, period. No matter if you're talking drugstore or high-end, this is just one of my favorite highlighters of all time. For brows, I use my usual NYX Micro Brow Pencil, and today I also used the brow glue from NYX. It's a good brow gel. Just I feel like I'll never find something that I like as much as the Rare Beauty one. But this one I also really enjoy, as well as the other one that's like Stick It from NYX. Let me find it. This one, the Thick It Stick It. I feel like I like this one a little bit better than the brow glue. This is pretty much empty, so today I used the brow glue. I feel like this one is easier to work with than this one. For eyeshadow, I went in with the Bite Size Eyeshadow in Cream and Sugar from e.l.f. The only con that I have with this palette is this shade is useless for me. It doesn't add anything. I often put it on, but it's just pretty much my skin color once you blend it in, so meh. But the other crease shades I really enjoy. Today I used this one just all over the crease and on the outer corner. You do have to build it up because the shades are lighter in pigmentation, but that is not a bad thing, especially if you're not used to wearing makeup. This goes on really softly and you can build it up into have full pigment, and that is a good thing. I also added this shade into my inner corner, but for my all over lid shade, I decided to go with a Kiko Milani shadow. This is the Magnetic Impact in 02. You touch it, it feels like a cream, mostly. And when you swatch it, you can see like how pretty and magnetic this is. And this is like 10 bucks. So if you're looking for single shadows that are shiny, they also have mattes, but I feel like this is the holy grail. Like, the magnetics are more elevated than the mattes. If you have been watching my channel, this is nothing new. This is the Essence 8-Hour Lip Liner. This is in the shade Perfect Shade. And it's just a creamy, long-lasting, self-setting lip liner that glides on, delivers payoff, and stays put for very long, and it's fuss-free. So highly recommend these ones. They are $3, like 2 something. So highly recommend these ones. For lip gloss, I use the NYX Butter Gloss in Praline. I love this formula. I love the smell. But this color used to be one of my favorite colors of all time, and they have changed it because I still have my old one, and they are different, and I'm gonna prove it to you. Old one and the new one. So I bought it like last week because I finally found it again, and they're different. So the formulation is still good. It's just the color that I used to love no longer exists. For mascara, this is nothing new. This is my favorite mascara. I don't think spending money on high-end mascaras is usually worth it. So this one is the e.l.f. Lash Extender. This is my favorite mascara, both from the drugstore and high-end mascaras included. This is just a brown shade and my go-to every day, not just when I'm just trying to do a drugstore look. Lastly, I finished off with my favorite drugstore setting spray, which is the Milani Make It Last setting spray. It helps so much with the longevity of my makeup. It helps it look more like hydrated and perfected. It melts in the powder. It's just a very good, very dupe-ish of the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray, so can't go wrong with it. I feel like it gives me a pretty finish. My face is glowy, it's just not the setting spray, it's all of the makeup combined. Even though the foundation, I would say, is a soft matte finish, with everything else that I applied, it ended up looking very hydrated. You can make it look pretty much matte if you just put on more powders, skip the e.l.f. powder, just apply a matte powder, and like skip the cheek glowy products. The setting spray will still give you a matte finish. It's just everything that I applied pulls through a glowy look. So yeah, everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's video. This is just proof that you don't need to spend a ton of money to get a pretty gorgeous look. You just need to apply the products correctly and pick the ones that are actually good. And I feel like nowadays you find great products at the drugstore. Here it is, the final makeup look. I hope you enjoy. I hope I'll see you in the next one. Please like and subscribe. Bye!